Thank you for joining us this evening. We want to talk about a couple of things at the Bridge. One of the things is therapy. So when I say therapy, I really mean speech therapy and occupational therapy as teamwork for the little people at our school. So it might be that a child has this particular problem with speech or with OT or with both, and tonight we want to talk about both. We want to talk about how they can integrate with each other and provide a product for the child where the child will get the support he or she needs. So we want to talk about that. We're talking about individual therapy from the speech therapist or the occupational therapist. That's what we're talking about. But sometimes there's a need for a combined session. So it'll be with the speech therapist and the occupational therapist. And my example is always about planning. And so whether the planning is the way you speak or the way you act or the way you do certain things, you will need to plan and you'll need to think about that. And that might be a session where the teacher, the occupational therapist, the speech therapist, depends. They will be involved in a session together. And I think tonight we want to talk a little bit about that, how they can combine in order to provide the support the child needs.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kilisha Naidu, and I am an occupational therapist at the Bridge. I'm also the head of therapy. Today, we're going to talk to you a little bit about occupational therapy and speech therapy. So from an OT perspective, here at the Bridge, we offer occupational therapy individually, but sometimes in conjunction with the speech therapist, as Dr. Pienaar mentioned. So in occupational therapy, we deal with occupation ideally. So for adults and children, those things are different. So for children, it will encompass their social life, their play, their education, and their ADLs. So here at our school, we mostly focus on the education, socializing, and play. And we do that using play. So in occupational therapy, we use play activities to address the areas of difficulty that the children experience. And what I'm going to do today is give you just an example of what a typical occupational therapy session could look like. So what a visual perception activity could look like, what a gross motor activity could look like, or maybe even just what a combination of the two could look like, because that's what we do in a 30-minute session. We might start with gross motor and end with visual perception, or do them in conjunction with each other. So I'm going to show you one or two examples so you have an idea of what we do as well. So the first example that I'm going to give you is of a sensory and gross motor stimulation activity, which also then integrates visual perception. So our little boy here is going to pull himself up the ramp. So that's going to give input to his shoulders, to his arms, to his core, but it will also then give him vestibular input. So he's going to pull himself up the ramp and then have to match which card he has with the 3 pictures that are on the window. And when he's done, he's going to come down the ramp and crash into the blocks. Go. Pull. All the way to the top. There we go. Okay, now look here. Which one of these 3? Good job. Well done. Okay, let's turn you around. Ready. Hands in your lap. Get set. Go. Okay, another example of an activity with a combination of aims could be, for example, visual perception and fine motor skills. So there's a visual instructions of what the child should build, and he copies it using his fine motor abilities. I've also incorporated postural stimulation by positioning him on a wobble chair. So in occupational therapy, we can combine some of our aims to work together to provide a holistic approach to deal with multiple different areas of difficulty in one session. Okay, now that you have a little bit of a better understanding of some of the activities and approaches that we use in occupational therapy, I'm going to hand you over to Zuleika, who's one of the speech therapists at the Bridge.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Zuleika Ghulam. I'm a speech therapist at the Bridge. At the Bridge, we offer speech therapy assessment, treatment, and carryover into the classroom through jump-in sessions. So tonight I thought I'd give you a look at a few things we use for our sessions and what to expect from a typical speech session depending on the goal of your child. So if your child is diagnosed with a speech or articulation difficulty, that means they have difficulty pronouncing their words. In a typical session, we would use a mirror for the child to be able to see for visual stimuli. We use things such as finger movers or ice cream sticks to stimulate the oral muscles. You can also sometimes expect oral cards for the ooh woo sound, so some more visual stimuli. This is very common that we love to use in our session. The kids get to feed the little things. So if they say the word correctly, such as the TH in think, then they get to feed the card to the monkey. We also assess and treat language difficulties, including receptive language difficulties, so that's your comprehension, and expressive language difficulties, so that's the content of what you say. Some things that we use in our session are examples of materials. Here I've got these mini checkers groceries, which everyone loves. We could use these for categorizing, which is a language area that we target. You can put your cereals together. We've got some bathroom items you can put together. We use animals or cars or toys for things like prepositions, to put the wolf on the rhino, put the wolf under the chair. We also have different language concepts that we have to target, such as answering questions. So you need the receptive and the expressive for that. So then here we have some why cards, why questions. So it prompts your child to think. So why do people go to the doctor? Why do people cry? So sometimes it's paper-based in terms of cards. And here we have just an example of a expressive language activity where there's pictures on each side of the card and the child is expected to construct a sentence. And once they've constructed the sentence, we can correct their grammar, we can correct their language and their forms of their words. At the Bridge, we also treat phonological awareness difficulties, which is difficulties with your early literacy, very common among school-age children. We always use a multisensory approach when treating phonological awareness difficulties. So, for example, we use picture cards like these. It can be used in multiple ways, like what's the first sound you hear in bread? It would be a B. What rhymes with bread? Head. We use, as I said, multi-sensory, so there's stamps that the kids can stamp words, there's magnets for the kids to build words on a magnetic board, there's links that they can use to link up their sounds, to identify capitals to small letters, to build words, to rhyming words, to manipulate, blend, and segment words.
Hi, I'm Robin Barlow and I'm a speech therapist at the Bridge School.
I'm Emily Robenheimer and I'm one of the occupational therapists. Today we're just going to demonstrate for you how sometimes speech therapy and occupational therapy do joint sessions with a child. Often we do this if the child is struggling either in OT or speech. It helps for us to work together with the child just to support them to meet their goals. So we're going to demonstrate that for you now.
In speech therapy, sometimes my goals are articulation and phonologically based. In this case, we'd be working on his discrimination of what and will words. This occurs within the brain. The child is confusing both of those sounds. So now we just need to be able to distinguish them as two separate sounds. So something that I would use is cue cards with two pictures, such as lake and wake. And depending on the word I say, I want you to throw a beanbag at either of these beanbags.
So typically in a session, the first thing I would do with the child is to do some dynamic movements on the swing with them, just to activate their sensory system and wake them up. What I'll be doing now is focusing on the child's vestibular bilateral integration and sequencing. I'll be doing that by having them move on the swing. I'll be challenging their balance by having him reach out of his base of support for beanbags. We'll also really be working on core strength because you'll have to hold on tightly to the swing in order to fetch the beanbags without falling off. And then we'll also work on his target and aim skills by throwing at specific targets. Okay, so the floor is lava, which means your feet can't touch the floor, okay? So you have to stay up on my swing. You're gonna hug the swing really, really tightly with your legs and your hands, listen nicely, and you're gonna reach down and pick up a beanbag. And then you're gonna throw it at one of your blocks. Okay, so let's go pick up a beanbag. Sit nicely, put your legs down, move your bum back, move your bum back, move your bum back, move your bum backwards. Okay, hug the swing, hug. Okay, reach for a beanbag, reach. Good job, sit up.
Okay, mister, you listening? Okay, I want you to tell me, is it a lion word or a whale word?
Listen nicely.
Whale.
No, listen first.
Listen.
The word is weaves. Do you hear a what or a l? Weaves.
Weaves.
What do you
Do you
hear?
hear your whale sound or your lion sound?
Oh.
The whale sound, okay, so you've got to throw it at the whale. Off you go.
Oh, good job.
Next one.
Okay, next beanbag. Let's go. Reach, reach, reach. Don't touch the floor. Floor is lava. Good job moving your body back. Good job. I'm going to help you. Hold your leg. Reach, reach, reach. Good job. Sitting upright. Use your tummy muscles. Good job.
Okay, you ready?
Listen nicely.
The word is ledge. Do you hear a L or a W? Okay, so you're going to throw it at your line. Off you go.
Oh, good shot.
Good
Amazing.
shot, hey?
So often in my sessions with a speech therapist, I also work a lot on perceptual and fine motor skills at the table. It's a really nice way for us to combine both of our goals. So with Kelechi today, I'm going to be working on some bilateral skills, some midline crossing, and some fine motor skills.
Just to jump into her activity, I'm going to continue using my cards and working on my two sounds. He's going to trace two hands, so we're going to make one sound his W hand and one sound his L hand. And then we're going to stick stickers on the fingers when he hears that sound.
Okay, Mr. Kelechi, are you ready? Watch me. I'm going to put my hand on the paper. Look, I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to trace all the way around my fingers so that I make a handprint. I'm going to help you. Okay. Alrighty, which is your strong hand? This is your strong hand? No, this is your pencil hand. This one. Good. And this is your helping hand. Good. Make nice big fingers. Let's move it to the side and draw around. Beautiful. What good work. Amazing, Kelechi. Good job, babe. Good. Lift your hand. Oh my gosh, that's your hand. Do another one here for me. Good job, babe. Keep going. Amazing. Two beautiful hands. Okay, my precious. We're going to work with our stickers now with Teacher Robin, okay?
Okay, so now tell me, which one do you want to be your W hand and which one do you want to be your L hand?
Gold.
No, listen nicely.
Which hand do you want to be your W hand and which one do you want to be your L hand?
What?
Okay, so we're going to do a W and a L. Okay, and choose your colors. Which one do you want for which hand?
Gold for what?
And silver for L. Okay, so we'll put them here. Okay, let's do our first one together.
Gold for
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, listening nicely.
all right. Show me leaves. Which one is leaves? Show me. Okay, good. And which one is it? Is it your W sound or your L sound? Okay, good. So you're going to put a star on one of your fingers.
Good job. You can do it. There we go. Beautiful.
Okay, nicely done. This one says late. He's late. This one is wait. So it's the stop sign. Show me wait. Which one is wait? Yes, good
This is
listening.
stop.
Yes.
Good job.
And do you think that they have the same meaning? If I say stop and I say wait, what do they mean? You don't, you mustn't go on. Hey.
But stop means stop.
Good. Okay, careful. Which color are you doing for your W? Yeah.
Remember, wait was a W word. So we're going to use our W hand.
Good job, babe.
So this is just how a session could potentially go in OT and speech when we have a joint session. It's a lot of impromptu because we just follow a lot of the child's lead. We see what they're in the mood for and where the session can go. But as you can see, there's numerous opportunities for both of us to jump in at any given time. Joint sessions can really be beneficial because we have both met goals in the session while achieving what the child needs in therapy.